Welcome to the World Ticket Channel. Your passport to discovering the world, one destination at a time. Today, we're flying north to a place known for its breathtaking landscapes, friendly people, and that unmistakable red maple leaf on the flag. That's right, we're talking about Canada. Whether you're here for the natural beauty, the cultural diversity, or just curious about how a country can be both freezing cold and incredibly warm-hearted, this episode is for you. So buckle up as we take a deep dive into one of the most fascinating nations on Earth. Canada is massive. At almost 10 million square kilometers, it's the second largest country in the world, stretching from the Pacific to the Atlantic to the Arctic Ocean, earning it the nickname, coast to coast to coast. It's made up of 10 provinces and 3 territories, and every one of them feels like a different storybook. The west brings mountain peaks and ancient forests. The central plains stretch endlessly beneath wide prairie skies. The east gives us rocky coasts, lighthouses, and Celtic roots. And the north? It's a realm of tundra, ice, and raw natural power. British Columbia is home to towering mountain ranges, misty rainforests, and the ocean-kissed city of Vancouver. Alberta gives you the epic Rocky Mountains and a cowboy-meets-modern vibe in Calgary and Edmonton. The prairie provinces, Saskatchewan and Manitoba, unfold in golden waves of wheat, dotted with serene lakes and ancient indigenous sites. To the east, Ontario offers the nation's capital, Ottawa, and its largest metropolis, Toronto, a buzzing, sprawling mix of languages and lifestyles. In Quebec, French is more than a language, it's a way of life. With Montreal's flair and Quebec City's cobbled charm, it's like a slice of Europe fused with the spirit of North America. Then there are the Atlantic provinces, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador, where the sea defines culture, and people greet you like an old friend. Up north, you'll find the wide-open majesty of Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut, regions steeped in tradition, wilderness, and silence broken only by wind and snow. Long before any mapmakers arrived, the land we now call Canada was home to thriving indigenous nations. First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples have lived here for thousands of years, shaping every corner of this country with their stories, wisdom, and languages. From coastal fishing villages to Arctic hunting grounds, from prairie buffalo hunts to forest spiritual ceremonies, their ways of life remain vibrant and alive. Today, over 1.6 million people in Canada identify as Indigenous. You'll see their influence everywhere, in art, education, environmental leadership, and land stewardship. Reconciliation isn't just a buzzword here, it's a national conversation. One rooted in acknowledging painful truths and listening, really listening, to the voices that were silenced for too long. Canada's modern history starts with European exploration. French and British adventurers arrived between the 15th and 16th centuries, drawn by riches, trade, and territory. Colonies were built, sometimes clashing violently with one another, and more tragically, with indigenous nations whose lands and lives were forever altered. In 1867, Canada became a self-governing dominion within the British Empire. 4 provinces signed on at first: Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. Over the next century, the rest followed, shaping the map we know today. In 1982, Canada truly came into its own with the patriation of its constitution and the birth of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, a document that enshrines civil liberties, equality, and human rights for all who call this country home. Let's talk cities. Toronto, the country's largest city, is a buzzing cultural mosaic. It's where more than half the population was born outside of Canada. Streetcars hum past global restaurants and world-class museums. In Montreal, the air is thick with jazz and espresso, cobblestones underfoot, and a mix of English and French that makes every conversation musical. Vancouver is the city where nature hugs you back, where you can ski in the morning, paddleboard by noon, and catch a film festival by night. Head east to Halifax, and you'll find a city that mixes maritime grit with modern charm. Up north, places like Whitehorse and Yellowknife feel like frontiers, rugged, real, and a little magical. Even Canada's smaller towns sparkle with personality. Banff is a mountain postcard come to life. Charlottetown tells the story of Confederation with Victorian elegance. And St. John's feels like the edge of the world, colorful, windblown, and deeply poetic. Canada's people are its greatest treasure. Nearly 40 million strong, they come from every corner of the globe. Over 300 ethnic origins were recorded in the last census. Multiculturalism here isn't just tolerated, it's embraced, celebrated, and protected. English and French are official languages, but in any city you'll also hear Punjabi, Cantonese, Spanish, Arabic, Inuktitut, Cree, the list goes on. Canada is consistently ranked among the most welcoming nations on earth. Whether it's Syrian refugees finding new hope, international students arriving for top-tier education, or families building futures together, this country opens its arms wide. Canadian culture is humble but mighty. It's in the art of Margaret Atwood and the activism of Buffy Sainte-Marie. In the voice of the weekend, the humor of Catherine O'Hara, the films of Denis Villeneuve. It's found in backyard barbecues, curling clubs, powwows, and pride parades. Events like the Toronto International Film Festival or Just for Laughs in Montreal bring global attention, but so do local festivals that celebrate everything from fiddle music to Filipino heritage. Culture in Canada is both local and global, stitched together with pride and purpose. Nature here is not just scenery. It's identity. Over 40 national parks protect Canada's wild soul. Canoe through the mirror-like lakes of Algonquin. Camp under the stars in Jasper. Feel small next to the fjords of Gros Morne. From the towering cedars of British Columbia to the tundra of Nunavut, this land lives and breathes. And the wildlife, caribou, moose, grizzlies, orcas, remind us that nature still rules here. Canadians don't just admire the outdoors, they live in it. Whether it's skating on frozen lakes, hiking forest trails, or jumping into icy waters in a tradition called the polar bear dip, this connection to nature runs deep. Canada's economy is just as dynamic. It ranks among the most stable in the world, with strengths in natural resources, manufacturing, finance, and a rising tech scene. Cities like Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver are becoming global innovation hubs, while clean energy and sustainability shape Canada's economic future. Public services, like universal healthcare and quality education, are part of everyday life, contributing to one of the highest standards of living anywhere. The climate? It's a roller coaster. Winters in Nunavut can freeze your eyelashes. Summers in Toronto can melt your ice cream before you reach the curb. But Canadians don't just endure the seasons, they revel in them. Winter means hockey rinks, snow forts, and steaming mugs by the fire. Spring brings maple sap and tulips in Ottawa. Summer? It's road trips, lake swims, long daylight hours, and patios that feel like community living rooms. Autumn turns forests into a living fireworks show. The weather changes constantly, but the joy found in each season is steady. So what makes Canada truly special? It's not just the snow-capped peaks or red leaves. It's the openness. The belief in fairness. The mix of tradition and reinvention. It's a place that listens, adapts, welcomes. A country still writing its story, with every voice, every language, every step forward. Whether you were born here, just arrived, or are planning a visit, Canada has a way of making you feel at home. Thanks for traveling with World Ticket. If you loved this journey, give us a like, hit subscribe, and share your favorite Canadian moment in the comments. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep your World Ticket ready.